Live on Hereward Radio today, we have...
Greg.
Where are you from, Greg?
I'm from Ely, Matrix Explorers.
Excellent. Simon?
Yeah, I'm Simon from Stagbound Explorers.
I'm Laura from New East NDC Explorers.
I'm Jamie from Thames County Middleton.
And I'm Hannah, and I'm the UK Youth Commissioner for the Scout Association.
And finally, I'm James, and I'm an assistant scout leader at Fitton Isle Scouts in Cambridgeshire. So, first up, we're going to have a song, and we're going to have Daft Punk. You can all talk now.
How many people are
I don't get to
listening?
listen to my own music.
You can if you like.
One earring.
How many people are
Good
listening
luck
now?
from Sophie.
Oh, cool. 5.
So
Like
if
it.
you want a shout out.
Yeah, give her a shout out.
Give her a shout out.
Right, so we've got, what have people been up to?
Yeah.
What are people going to chat about then?
So it's sort of stuff in the last week, 2 weeks-ish, quite soon, so... What are you doing? What are you going to say?
Well, what I am doing, or what I've been
What you've been doing?
doing. Probably go back to show the day that I did with the rest of my group.
What was that?
It's pretty much what it says is, you go in the morning with absolutely nothing, and at 7 o'clock we put on a show
Okay.
for the adults in the group and all the parents and people.
Alright, that's cool. Greg?
I'll probably talk about the fact that I got a DC's award for doing this.
Oh, very good. Laura?
To mention the fact that we went to the police station control room this week.
Okay. I'll probably ask you a few questions. Jenny?
I've been helping my Cubs get ready for Cub Jam.
No? Okay. I'll cover.
So I would probably talk about the only scouting I've done this week, which is I joined Merseyside Scouts who were down in Gilwell with their a group of young people planning their community impact project for the county. Dementia friendly.
Is that Million Hands?
Yeah, Million Hands, yeah.
Yep.
So they were planning, because there's 11 districts in Merseyside, they were doing like each district organises an event for Alzheimer's carers
Okay.
each month, and then the county puts on to do things as well, which sounds like a really cool idea if it
It does.
takes them.
And you got your bit next.
No, it's that bit. We're just...
Yeah, but are you on afterwards?
Yeah.
So what happens?
Okay.
We've got a song
Yeah.
between that, I think. But we might just go straight to it, actually.
Well, mine's quite long, so I want to break out for that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's fine.
2 minutes left.
But if it's quite long, do you want to do what he's been up to, then your bit, and then a song? Because then there's another... Oh no, that's only short afterwards.
Yeah. Thing is, with James' bit, we've got all the clips as well.
Probably
So.
take more like 15 minutes.
Which songs did you choose? What made the cut?
All of them, and
Really?
I'll just do them in order as they're on here, and if we need more. So it's Heine next.
Any
8.
more?
Oh no, 6. Maximum of 8.
That's not total listeners though, remember, that's just
Yes.
devices connected.
Yeah,
If
yeah, yeah.
1,000 people are listening on Instagram.
Exactly.
Positive.
I'd be surprised.
You never know. You could always get the guests to do the shout outs.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
More people listen back afterwards anyway. So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
we get some more.
Yeah, it doesn't tell me whether Fozzie's listening tonight.
I've gone back up to 8, so that's on the Sunday.
I mean, no, it's the same choice.
Yeah.
I think the same choice.
Oh,
Oh no,
36.
let's not.
Thanks for that.
Let's get there then.
Okay, the mics are going on now.
Well, at the recent St George's Day parade in Ely, we had the sort of service thing afterwards, and I got a DC's award for doing this radio show. And I got a very sparkly badge to go on my shirt, and I got a certificate, and it's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Laura, what about you?
Last week with the Scouts we went to the police station control room.
Okay, and what did you do there?
So we had the opportunity to listen into some calls and pick out information we thought was important, as well as listening into live calls that were coming in the control room.
That sounds really exciting. Jamie, what about you?
So I'm a young leader with Cubs in Penstanton, so I've been helping them get ready for Cub Jam, which is a camp at Gilwell Park in a few weeks, and they're all excited about that.
And what sort of stuff have you been doing to prepare for that?
We've been helping them with their talent show entry. They're performing a song, and been making puppets and things for that, which is quite cool.
Can you give us any details about that? Any secrets about their performance?
Top secret stuff, I'm afraid.
Oh, what a shame. Simon, what about you?
A couple of weeks ago I did a show in a day.
Okay, so what's that?
Oh, it's pretty much exactly what it says it is. We went in at 9 o'clock in the morning with absolutely nothing, and by 7 we had a full show which we performed to the parents.
And what show did you perform?
It's a mix of all different songs from lots of different places and different artists.
Sounds very good. Was it a good show at the end of it?
Yeah, very good show, yeah.
That's great. And what about you, Hannah?
So I joined a team of guys from Merseyside Scout County who had an event at Gilwell Park called Youth-Shaped Scouting on Tour. And basically what they did is they all went down to Gilwell Park for the weekend and planned their A Million Hands project for the county, which is pretty exciting. And they're looking at sort of doing stuff around dementia and Alzheimer's, and rather than focusing on the people themselves, it's looking at the carers and the supporters and what support they could give to the people around them. So it was quite a nice little project that they were starting to form.
That sounds really good. Do you travel a lot then?
Luckily they were coming down south, so
Ah.
I managed to meet them there because I've been doing my university exams the last couple of months. But yeah, I like to travel around the country and see what different scout groups are getting up to everywhere around the UK.
And are the exams all finished now?
They have. Yesterday was the last one, so this is a nice little break now.
So it's opened up a summer of scouting.
Indeed.
Sounds very good. We're now going to have another song, and we're going to have Home. I said home really, really. Home!
You sound a bit strange when you
Did I?
You sort of emphasise everything.
Yeah, well.
Was that just broadcast?
You probably wouldn't be able to hear it.
No,
Alright.
it was so low that
Yeah.
it was.
Brilliant.
It's hard to get everyone in shot.
So,
Greg
do
forgot to
you
mention the grand old
see
Duke
yourselves
of
in
York.
radio in the future, or?
Probably
show?
not. But it's, yeah, I don't know, I suppose so. Community radio, maybe.
Yeah. Good stuff.
That seems very good.
It'll probably confuse people if I told them that my real name's George.
It confuses me.
Yeah.
So,
Quite a lot of people I know from, so I moved, went up to sixth form, and I was the only one from my school who went there, but there was a couple of people in the lower years who called me Greg still, and so everyone who was in my year thought I was called Greg until they suddenly realised that I wasn't.
What is your name? Wait, Greg.
George.
George.
Yeah.
Why Greg?
I don't really know. But someone started calling me that in year 9, and then everyone in my year started, and then just like
So
teachers
the
started
teachers
and
call you
everything.
Greg as well?
Yeah,
Brilliant.
quite a few of them do, yeah.
It's right, even Dad's just gone, dunno.
Fools and horses thing, and it was Delboy.
Yeah.
Dave.
Dave.
Yeah.
There he is.
How's that me on there?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't
So
realise.
to these James, to these tracks next, shall I just introduce them and then will you play them? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
It says on here which ones are which, doesn't it? Okay.
Did anyone do anything exciting on St George's Day?
I went up to the tower at Ely. Which is pretty cool.
I went to that one.
I could
No.
see it happen.
He was the star turn.
Yeah, and I
The
also
grand
went
old
up.
Duke of
I-
York.
I had to go
You've
up
seen the video on
That's
the
the
website.
great old Knight St George actually, because that's my name. Yeah.
Hannah was hobnobbing it in Windsor with Chris Foster and Simon Carter and the Duke of Kent.
Prince
Prince
of
Mark.
Kent, not Duke of Kent.
Okay then.
And Bear
So I
as
was
well.
told not to get that wrong, so
Well, it wasn't the Queen.
no, correct.
Some of us had the Queen.
Birthday dinner, all that.
Matt,
Yeah.
why does the laptop need to stay there? Is it because of the screen?
Yes, and plus I didn't have a lot of time to plan
No,
it.
no, that's fine.
So,
I'm just looking for somewhere where we can fit everything.
I mean, to be honest with you, it's too much faff to move it today, but next time I'll sort of think it through a little bit more, because it's not ideal, but although it does get a good shot of you, Greg.
Yeah.
Ironically.
Good about the Grafton
Everyone gets to see
Challenge.
me.
Is Grafham in here?
No, it's not.
Do you know?
Well,
Do you wanna-
mentioned that Arthur Towler in the Grafton Challenge. She should have sent you stuff about the Grafton
Oh,
Challenge.
was it?
That was Edward Sharp and the Magnetic Zeros home. So we're now going to go to Jamie, who's going to tell us all about what's been going on around the county.
Yeah, so we're just going to give you a quick rundown of what's been happening since our last rodeo show in March. So first of all, Ely Scouts held their traditional skills day that you can hear about in this interview.
There is someone watching on YouTube now. He's just sent me a message. He said he's all very good.
My mum is.
I'm assuming it's you lot he's watching and not someone else. So. I'm just impressed it works. Can't see you with the option of the thing.
That was Ely Traditional Scouting Day.
Also in Newmarket, the Beavers held a quiz in Fordham, which sounded great fun. In Cromwell, the Cubs have held a night hike, which was in the countryside around St Ives. with bases along the way and finishing with hot dogs. The same weekend, Ely held their cyclocross at Bramham Farm. This has been held for several years, and a trail was set up through the woods and fields, and there were 5 cycle races, and the winner received a trophy. The Beavers have been to Twin Lakes in Melton Mowbray to celebrate the Beavers' 30th birthday. Unfortunately, it was poorly attended, but the Beavers that did go had a fantastic time on the roller coasters, pirate ships, go-karts, and stroking the animals and being chased by a peacock. You can hear about what the Beavers were up to here. Hinchley District also held an incident hike at Grafton Water with bases all around the lake that included first aid, team building, problem solving, and the winners of that were First South Hoe and Buckton Team B, so well done to them. There was also a Working with Wood morning held at the East of England Showground that Rusty attended, and he spoke to some of the scouts there. Last weekend, the National Archery Tournament was held at Basilwood. Newmarket had been attending this for 8 years since it was held at Gilwell Park, and this year 62 people from Cambridgeshire went along. They came home with a gold for one of the Cubs, a gold for one of the Scouts and for one of the young leaders, a silver for one of the leaders, and one of the Cubs, Charlie Brazier, won 3 medals on his own, which was a great achievement. So they were representing the county at that, which you can hear about in there.
Not going on the mic today?
So the biggest event held since our last radio show was probably St George's Day. There were lots of events going on across the county. One of them was at Ely, held in Ely Cathedral, with a samba band, circus workshops, and the Monop Ely Challenge. We spoke to some Cubs and Scouts there. So, Greg, you went to Ely St George's Day. Can you just tell us a bit about what you got up to?
Oh, another one of the activities that was going on during the day was tower tours up to the Cathedral Tower, and I went on one. It was really good. There was 289 steps to get to the top, which was quite a long way, especially as they were built a long time ago, so they weren't very flat. They were quite difficult to get up. And then, but when we did get to the top, the view was really good. I could see the fields and the there's a big pylon behind my house, and I could see that from the top. And you could see around for absolutely miles. That was really good. And then in the service, as I say, I got my DC Scout Award, and I was also the Great Old Knight St George, which was a sort of take on the Grand Old Duke of York, and I had to stand up at the front and lead the song, do a little bit of dancing as well. The videos on Facebook, I think, so everyone can go and watch me embarrass myself.
That sounds good. Newmarket Scouts also held an event for St George's Day. They marched through the streets of Newmarket to Tatterstalls, where they held a ceremony. They presented 4 Platinum Awards there, including one to an explorer called Connor. This was a great achievement for him because Connor has autism. He's been in Scouts for 5 years, and it's really helped him to become confident in social situations. And it's a huge achievement for him, as you'll hear in this clip from his carer Lisa. So Newmarket District, as well as celebrating the Cubs 100th and Beaver's 30th birthdays, have also been celebrating 100 years of scouting in the district, and they received a very special message from the Queen. Okay, we'll try and bring that to you later. I've got that one. Alright, so Hannah, how did you spend St George's Day?
So I spent St George's Day in Windsor, our day of celebration and achievement. So we were joined by loads, I can't remember the figure, but there were loads, hundreds and hundreds of Queen Scouts who had achieved their Queen Scout Award in the last year, and they were all there to celebrate their achievement. In addition to that, we also had a lot of sort of meritorious conduct awards as well there, so it was really inspiring meeting lots of young people and lots of adults who had done so much for Scouting, either carrying on during illness or whether they had helped save someone's life. It was really nice to hear their stories as well, and they got to meet Chief Scout Bear Grylls and everyone like that, and Steve Backshaw, who's our Cubs 100 ambassador. It was a really nice day.
That's great. So also since our last radio show, the Scout Association have released the results of this year's census. In Cambridgeshire, it shows we now have over 8,200 members. That's 6% up on 2015. Bar Hill has grown the most in the county and is also the 9th largest growth nationally. So across the country, there are now 573,000 adults and young people that take part in the adventure each week, with 21 new people joining Scouting every single day. And 25% of these are now female. So it just begs the question, why is Scouting still so popular, and why do you all Scout? If you'd like to tell us why you do Scouting, you can tell us on Facebook. I'll also ask a few of the people here. So Simon, why do you Scout, and why do you get involved?
I think the main reason that I Scout is because it's a great sense of achievement when you earn badges that you've been working towards for ages and ages. And also it's a nice community place to be in. So they're the main reasons why I Scout.
What about you, Laura?
I think Scouting often
opens so many doors and allows so many opportunities that you probably wouldn't experience otherwise. And I think some of these are really important to experience.
So Hannah, I wonder if you could tell us why you think particularly that more girls are joining Scouting maybe?
I think there's a number of different reasons. I think we've got a lot more female role models in the movement now. So just showing that, when we're talking on the radio or if we're on TV or anything like that, we always have girls and boys and men and women on there to just show people that girls are involved in Scouting as well. But I think what the most important thing is that our programme is really relevant to the 21st century in 2016, and that just shows that in our results from the census that we have grown in boys and girls, so it just shows that everybody's welcome and everybody finds Scouting a really good opportunity for them to get stuck in.
Okay, so we've now found that clip from earlier with Newmarket District Scouts and their message from the Queen, so we'll let you listen to that quickly. So thanks to everyone across the county who has told us about their events. If you want us to visit your event and publicise it on the next radio show, just email Rusty or Sophie. The details are on the county website.
Thank you very much for that, Jamie. So obviously lots of great things going on around the county in Scouting. But Scouting doesn't just occur in Cambridgeshire, so we're going to have news of what's going on around the country and around the world in Scouting from Simon.
Okay, so the main events that happen around the UK at the moment is the fact that Cubs are turning 100 this year. Lots of Cubs have gone to see the new Jungle Book movie, which makes sense as their leaders are named after Jungle Book characters. Stamford and Bourne held a camp in London Zoo to celebrate the Cubs centenary. Many packs around the world have been collecting postcards from other Cub packs just to see if they can collect 100, and individual Cubs have been trying to collect name tapes from around the world as well, just to see if they can get the magical number of 100. In Marwell, some lucky scout groups have been asked to put together a zebra, which will be paraded through the city and up to Marwell Zoo for an event they've got going on. For other scouting groups around the world, there is an event called Rove Away happening, which is an event in France where scouts will journey throughout France on any roads that they like and will end up at a camp called Jamville, where over 4,000 scouts will meet up. And finally, in August, the Ivory Coast will be holding the 7th annual African Scout Jamboree. And if any of you out there are involved in any events in the coming year, let us know what group you're involved in, and we'll incorporate you into the next show.
Thank you very much for that, Simon. That's brilliant. So we're now going to have Frank Turner Polaroid picture. Yeah, that's brilliant. That's good.
So probably got attracted by a bit of the smell.
And who's inspired you most in scouting?
So for me, I think the most inspirational person was my county commissioner from a couple of years ago. His name was Ben Richardson, and he really encouraged me sort of from the age of 16 to really join the county team and have an impact there as well. And I think his support is really what's driven me throughout scouting, but unfortunately he passed away a couple of weeks ago, so it was quite a difficult time. But yeah, definitely he was definitely my biggest inspiration.
So what made you want to stay in scouting when you became an adult?
I think when I became an adult, it was really important to me to give back what I'd received from scouting. So scouting gave me a really safe place to express myself and be myself and sort of, have my voice heard, whereas at school I felt still quite timid and quite shy. And I knew that a lot of other young people would get so much from scouting, and unless you have adults there to support scouting, you just won't have that opportunity for young people. So I really wanted to make sure that carried on.
So what roles have you undertaken since you've been an adult in scouting?
So I've been, I'm assistant Cub Scout leader, I've assistant scout leader. I did those both as a young leader as well. I've also been assistant county commissioner for explorers, and I also ran an explorer boat expedition to Kenya, and then more recently my role as UK Youth Commissioner.
So what made you want to become UK Youth Commissioner?
So when I saw it advertised on Facebook, I thought it looked like a really awesome opportunity. But it wasn't until actually it was Ben, who I mentioned earlier, who was a big inspiration to me. He'd seen the advert as well, and just when I sort of ruled myself out and thought, no, I can't really do that, he just dropped me an email and said, have you seen this? This would be perfect for you with your experience. And I think it was that encouragement from him, as sort of like a peer, as a mentor, that really encouraged me to put my application in. And I think that would be my biggest message to any adult in scouting, is that your encouragement means so much to young people, and it's that, that little tip-off or that little word of encouragement that can make the difference in someone's life.
So what do you get up to being UK Youth Commissioner?
Loads of stuff. So I guess the most important, or the most exciting part of the role, I guess, is really being able to make an impact on scouting for 500,000 people across the UK. So working in partnership with Wayne Bulgett, who's our Chief Commissioner, our Chief Exec, Matt, and our Chair of the Board, Anne. And between us, we share our responsibility of leading the movement and leading our sort of different teams to do that. So that's kind of like one part of it. The other part of it is travelling around the country, really seeing what groups are up to, finding out how young people are having their voices heard, and sharing those ideas across the country as well. So really helping people to understand U-shaped scouting a bit more and to implement it in their local area.
What good ideas have you seen to do with U-shaped scouting on your travels?
Gosh, there's been loads. I think my favourite ones have probably been in groups and in sections, because that's where all young people have the opportunity to shape their scouting. So just seeing the different ways that people are running youth forums. I visited Lincolnshire County a couple of weeks ago, shout out to them. They had a really good patrol leader training weekend, and they were really encouraging young people to take on those leadership roles and training them around it as well. So that's really good to see. So I think they're probably my highlights, those ones.
And what's been the best part since you've been UK Youth Commissioner?
The best part since being UK Youth Commissioner, gosh, that's a big one. I think for me, probably the first U-shaped event we ran in 2015, so February 2015, because we didn't have very much time to put it together. Our venue dropped out at the last minute, so we had to change it really quickly before getting the information out, and we still managed to put it together. It was the first time we'd ever live streamed a scouting event, and I was told in the run-up to it, never done it before, it's not possible, you can't do it. And I really worked hard with my team to make it happen, and I think just being able to say, we did it, was really a really proud moment for us. And now it's kind of a concept that they're taking on for other events as well, and they're starting to be live streamed and really allowing more people to get involved with conversations when they're not in the room. I think that's really important around youth-shaped scouting.
And looking at your whole scouting history, what's your best memory?
Best memory? I think that's such a big question, but I'll just pick out a recent memory. It's probably the easiest thing to do, because there's so many of them. I think my recent trip, I went to Madagascar with some of the Community Impact Group, who are the team nationally who are driving the Million Hands project. We went out to Madagascar with WaterAid, who are one of our Million Hands partners, to see what scouts in Madagascar are doing in their community to support WaterAid and to support water hygiene and sanitation out there. And it was so inspiring seeing people who in reality didn't have very much going out and helping their community and just doing the smallest things which were making such a difference. So they were doing campfire songs with local communities, teaching about how they should be washing their hands after they go to the toilet or before making food or actually using the toilet. A lot of people weren't doing that. And also sort of dispelling a taboo around sort of menstrual hygiene and female hygiene as well. And it was so amazing seeing what they could do in their local area, and then just sort of using that as a bit of a stimulus for people in the UK to really get them on board with A Million Hands and to really help make a difference around the world. So that was really interesting to see.
So what can Scouts in the UK do for A Million Hands?
So the main thing really around that is it's all about how do we make sure that our local decision makers know how important clean water and sanitation is. Because what I didn't realise is that actually there isn't as much funding going into it as you might think. It's a really basic amenity that everybody needs. Everybody needs clean water, they need sanitation, otherwise it affects their livelihood. And we just need to ensure that local decision makers and also MPs and that they understand that. So any event that they might run in a group, as a district, as a county, inviting those people along and showing them that their community really cares for people around the world. I think that's the most important thing. I mean, the other things, if there are people who are really interested in it, particularly around network age, and they could start up projects around going to Madagascar and experiencing that for themselves. But there's so much we can still do from the UK about spreading the message and helping people to understand that we might be able to just turn on the tap, but not everybody around the world has that opportunity.
So what great ideas have you seen for people taking part in A Million Hands?
For anything in general?
anything.
I think the one that I mentioned earlier with Merseyside with the Dementia Friends I really liked, because it wasn't just looking at those who are affected by the disease, but also the supporters and the carers around them. So that was quite exciting. There's also a project that I've heard of in Manchester, which is trying to make the local area really friendly towards those who are blind or partially sighted. Just things like signs outside of shops when they're further than a metre away or something like that. They're meant to be within that space from a shop, but when they're further out, somebody without vision is not going to be able to walk around that, or if the people have got low-hanging trees outside their gardens and their dog walks under it, that's absolutely fine, but they're going to walk straight into that tree. And just really understanding and putting yourselves into other people's shoes, and helping our young people to understand that, so Beavers, Cubs and Scouts, that they're going to grow up in a much more friendly society for those who are disabled.
So Hannah, you've picked our songs for today.
Mm-hmm.
What influenced your choice of music?
So there were a couple of different influences. So the one that we just heard actually about Frank Turner, there's a line that I really like in it that says, "Let go of the little distractions, hold close to the ones that you love." And I just think that's really important, because we can get so hung up on the little things that we kind of forget about the big picture and the really exciting things in life. So I really like that. Home, which we had earlier as well, that just reminds me of landing after being away last summer back in the UK after the Jamboree and spending time in the Philippines. And thinking, it's actually really nice just to be home now. And I went straight to Gilwell Reunion, and that was lots of fun as well. But we've got a bit of Foo Fighters coming up later, and that one I chose because on the day that I got the phone call to say that I got the role of UK Youth Commissioner, I was actually walking in to see Foo Fighters play at the Invictus Games, closing ceremony in 2014. Just started the next one again in Orlando now. So that's just like, for me, when I hear the Foo Fighters, I just think that was the day, that was the amazing day for me, that sort of changed my life. I know it sounds really cheesy, but it really did change my life. So yeah, and perhaps Shake It Off as well, so a bit Taylor Swift later, kind of a bit like my mantra of, you can't please everyone, so just keep going and keep powering through and just believe in what you think.
That's great, and on that note, we're going to play Taylor Swift.
Oh, perfect, look at that timing.
Sentence, why should young people join Scouting?
One sentence. Gosh.
Yes.
Can it be a really long sentence?
Yeah,
Or?
give it as long as you like.
I'll have to think about this. Okay, so young people should join Scouting because it gives you the opportunity to try new stuff that you wouldn't get to try anywhere else, which will help develop you for later life, but in a fun way so you won't even realise it. But let's not ever use that as a quote because that's actually a bit naff.
Yeah, we'll edit that out. And then, in one sentence, why should adults join Scouting?
Adults should join Scouting to help every young person reach their potential in life. And also because it can be really developmental for adults as well. Not only do they get to join in with the activities that young people are doing as well and, you know, conquer their fears, but also they're developing skills for their CV.
That's great.
Long sentence
That was a
again.
very long sentence, but it was a sentence. And finally, what are you looking forward to most in Scouting?
So the thing that I'm looking forward to most in Scouting, gosh, would probably be seeing the outcomes of the U-shaped strategy, which we've just had agreed by the board. So we've just finalised a little bit more about what it means for Scouting to become more youth-shaped. So we've kind of divided it into 4 areas around programme, transition at 18, sort of keeping young people interested in Scouting, then looking at young people in management roles and also young people in governance roles, so, you know, trustee boards and stuff like that. And I'm really excited to see how that's going to develop over the next year or two whilst I'm still in the role, particularly around the programme element. So I know that so many groups are already taking part in amazing U-shaped Scouting, but we just need to highlight it and share it with other people and share those ideas so people can you know, understand that A, they are doing U-shaped Scouting, it's something we've always done, and B, they can be really proud of their achievements as well.
That sounds brilliant. Thank you very much. So now we're going to do something slightly different. And Laura's going to explain how it's going to work. So off you go, Laura.
Right, so we've got a little quiz to do. So there's 2 parts to it. The first part is some facts that I found out, and you have to decide whether they're true or false. So I'll read them out, and then you can have a little bit of discussion and come to a conclusion. So the first fact is Cubs in Australia work for bronze, silver and gold boomerangs.
That would be brilliant if it is true.
Yeah.
I think that's false.
I agree. I think that's false.
Do you think it's too cliche?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's too good to be true.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's a unanimous false, I think.
It's actually true.
Really? Get me a plane ticket to Australia now.
I saw that. I thought that was brilliant. The second one is there's a Scouting poster in the EastEnders cafe.
True.
I'm going to say that's true as well.
Yeah, that was a very quick decision.
I think I've
Something
seen
which
it.
EastEnders. Yeah, it is true.
Pretty sure it was a Cubs 100 one recently, actually, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
They're up to date, Wolford Cubs, of course.
The third one is there are only 10 countries that don't have Scouting.
False. I don't think it's as many as that.
Yeah,
I'd say it's false. I think there's more that don't have.
I think it's fewer than that.
There is 5.
Alright, go on then.
Can you name any of them?
Probably not.
We're going to go
North Korea.
Yeah.
China.
Yeah.
Cuba.
Yeah.
And is it Andorra or something like
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Antarctica.
Oh,
No.
Laos.
Laos.
Yeah,
whatever
and
it is.
5.
Laos, probably not Laos. Laos?
Laos. Yeah.
My geography is never my strong point.
I'm actually quite impressed you managed to guess all 5. Fourth one, in the past 100 years, 150 million people have been invested into Scouting.
I'd say that's probably true.
I would have said false. I would have thought more than that.
Well, there's 40 million around the world at the moment. So that's what, it's more than 3 times. I'd say it's maybe a bit high.
You think that's too high?
I think it's maybe high. But I'm probably going to be disproven on it.
I reckon it's true.
I mean, around the whole world, there's a lot of people to become scouts. Okay, let's go around. So you think it's false?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go for false.
I'm going to go for true.
I think I'll go for true.
False.
True.
It's actually false, it's actually more.
Oh,
wow.
There's over 500 million people over
Wow.
the past 100
Wow.
years. So, yeah.
Amazing.
The fifth one, in the first World Scout Jamboree, was not only attempted by people but also by a baby elephant. I hope this is true.
I'm gonna, Baden Powell's a pretty out there kind of guy, so I reckon he brought an elephant.
I know that there was an elephant at the Thailand Jamboree, I think it was, like handing over the baton as it was to the next country, but I'm not sure about the baby elephant.
I'm gonna say true.
I'm going to say false.
True.
It is actually true.
Oh wow.
But the best thing is, it wasn't just a baby elephant, there was also an alligator, a baby crocodile, a lioness cub, monkeys and a camel.
Which country were they?
They were all from, well, all the animals were from different countries, so I don't know how they got there,
I
but
think that might be against health and safety now.
yeah, maybe. The sixth one is John Lennon and Ringo Starr went to pubs together.
It'd be nice if it was true.
Yeah.
We'll go for true.
Maybe it's a trick question. Maybe they didn't go together. Just
Maybe-
throwing that one out.
Maybe it's boring when you go next close. Who knows? Yeah,
True.
true.
Go for true.
True.
It's actually false, but John Lennon and Paul McCartney did.
Oh, close.
Almost. And the last one I've got here is Lord Baden-Powell is buried on Brownsea Island.
False.
Bonus points where he's very
Yeah.
It's in Kingdom.
where in
If it, I'm gonna guess Mafia King, but probably not.
Anyone?
Neary.
Yeah. So they're all the first ones for the facts, and the second one we've got is, was this famous person a scout? So I'll go through them all and you can decide, and I'll tell you at the end which ones were and which ones were. The first one we've got is Liam Payne from One Direction.
I'm going to admit that I'm not sure which one that is from One.
True.
False.
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 So we mostly think no?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one is Joey Essex.
False.
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 Okay. Next one, John F. Kennedy.
True.
So that's probably true.
I reckon he was an Eagle Scout.
A lot of presidents were, weren't they?
Yeah.
David Williams.
True.
True.
True, yeah.
Russell Brand.
Ooh. False, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, false.
Yeah.
They were actually all scouts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's new.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. That's the end of the quiz.
Well, now we know who 5 of the 500 million people are.
Yeah.
And then we've got the 6 of us as well.
So that's 11.
Okay, so we're going to go for another song now. Hannah talked about it earlier. We're going to go for Foo Fighters' My Hero.
You look like you're mixing the best. That was a good little quiz, that.
Yeah.
But you might run out of scouting facts if it's about
Yeah.
scouts every week.
Well, I thought I didn't want it to be like a quiz, so I thought if people get the answers wrong, they might be a bit hesitant to answer. But if it's going to be something that people aren't supposed to know, then it doesn't matter.
I guess what you could do, competitions maybe, sort of going
Yeah.
forward, like ask a question at the beginning and I don't know what you do as prize then.
Well, yeah, one thing we talked about is like if we had lots of people write in, and someone wrote in and said what their name was, then we'd say, right, who was that called in at the start? What was their name and what did they say? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
But never really got anything. Mum said Laura was brilliant, so
Thanks.
Elaine Ward like in the video. Do you know anything about this, Elaine? Elaine Ward. Do you know anything about this like in a video?
Do I?
Yeah, Chris Ward, Malcolm
Oh,
Robinson, I don't know what they're all on about.
Of course I liked it. It's got nice pictures.
Laura, have you got anything else from Facebook or are we done?
I can have a look, but I couldn't see anything on there, unless Rosty's found anything.
The Ward family are liking everything that we're putting up on Facebook.
I got a message from Sammy Parker, my mum's
Has
watching.
he done the shout
Yeah, I know,
out
it's
yet?
creepy.
You have done.
Has he done the shout
I don't know
out?
Did you
what
hear
they've
our
done.
shout?
You do
Yeah.
a shout out for, is it Sally Parker?
Sammy.
Sammy Parker's mum.
That
We
was
already did
Andrea.
one.
Oh, right. That's our maths teacher.
We'll do a second one. We'll do a shout out for Sammy.
don't think anything's really been posted.
We're too busy listening.
Stunned.
Who's Malcolm Robinson?
County
Trusted
Treasurer,
dad.
my dad.
Okay, should we give him a shout out?
He won't be listening, but yeah, feel free.
Doesn't matter, people don't know who he is.
Yeah.
This Chris Ward fella likes a lot of it.
Have we done a shout out to Chris Ward yet?
Have we done anything for Chris Ward or Elaine Ward?
No.
When we did your dad last time, we did like the last minute.
Oh, yeah.
Have you done the one
Should we give him a shout out again?
Can do if you
I
want.
don't know, I've done the 14th
Is
Cambridge
it
yet.
your mum?
Oh, yeah.
Your mum's sat down there. Do you want a shout out?
Yeah, why not?
So it's Elaine.
Yeah.
Have you done the
Who's what mum on that?
camp thing? No.
Alright.
Sat there in the studio.
Oh,
Sorry?
listening.
I don't want to tell you.
We don't really have anyone else.
Is it not gone on much?
Malcolm Robinson.
Up's one way to describe it. Up by a
Yeah,
negative
it is.
number.
That's the happy hippo.
Is this on the website for people to listen to after it's been live?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to put it on YouTube.
We're going in overtime, it looks like.
Do you put it on Mixcloud? Where do you put it? I can put it up
You
on
put
Mixcloud.
it on Mixcloud last
Yeah.
time, didn't you?
Yeah, I can put
We
it
need
up
to work
again.
out what we do with the video, because with the audio and stuff, 11 seconds. You've got a shout out to Laura?
Yeah.
Cool.
She's got some more.
That was Foo Fighters My Hero, another one of Hannah's requests there. So we're coming to the end of the show. Have we got any more shout outs, Laura?
Yeah, we've got a few more. The first is Malcolm Robinson. Thank you for listening. Chris and Elaine Ward. And the last one, Sammy Parker.
Thank you very much, Laura. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the show now. We're just going to play you out to a song. But we've just got to, we would like to say bye from all of us here. So,
Bye.
See you guys. Bye bye.
Thanks for
okay,
listening.
and our next show is on the 19th of July. 20th of July. 21st of July. We'll get there. But yes, it's on the 21st of July, which is a Friday. So we'll hopefully hear from you all then.
Thursday.
Thank you very much.
Thursday.
Thursday.
No, it's a Thursday. We're nearly there. Fleetwood Mac.
I was like, it's not the 20th.
Hang on, that means I might be able to actually make it. Oh, the Thursday isn't well. I'm out on the Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm out Wednesday, Thursday.
Thursday 21st, yes?
Yeah.
Well, when do we...